Good morning, everybody. Tammy here from the On Air Advocate. Everybody who's watching from our channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then I have today, we also have all these different awesome parent advocates. Who else is with us today? Sabrina, you're up, girl.
I wasn't sure who was going. Hello, everybody. My name is Sabrina Thomas, and I am a special needs empowerment coach. So I just want to welcome everybody and welcome my community and my special needs, specially loved community as well.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeniece Stewart. I'm the founder of Special Needs Siblings. I am a proud mother of 6, and I am just out here advocating on behalf of all of our children out here.
Wonderful. Well, today it's not like one person's joining the other's platform because we're all here together. So this is a really cool thing that StreamYard offers. And since the pandemic, I think that's I could say a positive of us learning how to be more resourceful, right? Like there was lots of problems with people hopping online. And this is a newer streaming service that allows multiple people to go on multiple platforms. So we're not just on the On Air Advocate right now. We're on the Special Needs Siblings. We're on Sabrina's page as well. And so it's really, really cool to be able to do that so that all of our communities can kind of come together.
Yes. It's so exciting.
Love it, love it, love it. So, me and Sabrina kind of started this a few weeks back as I started with StreamYard and we were trying to figure it all out. And I have most of it figured out, but there's a lot of little things I haven't figured out yet. So I'm going to keep on working on those.
Yeah.
For that. But one big thing that I saw personally come out, and I'm sure you guys probably saw all the news articles as well, and maybe the impact for yourselves, is how our disability services for our loved ones or aging loved ones, or for our young adults or kiddos with different abilities have been affected during COVID-19. And so the things that have been halted or stopped. So I wanted to get the perspective from both of you, and definitely our audience, if you're watching this on the replay, if you're watching live, what are the impacts in your state that you are feeling for your kids, yourself, your loved ones, in regards to services right now? And I don't know which one of you want to take that first, if you guys have noticed any impact that way.
In regards to services?
Yes, in regards to your services, yeah.
Okay. Well, it varies. Personally for me, I haven't had any drastic issues. And I keep saying this every time I get on live because I'm very flexible. But the thing about it is, like, the first week or two, the teachers were sending emails saying, hey, you need to do this, do this. They sent the kids home with a tablet. Well, my son home with a tablet with a bunch of work to last you for a couple of weeks because they thought it was going to be a couple of weeks. Right. And I think that was the roughest part for me. Okay. Because I had to show him how to do all this math stuff the way he needs to, and I don't know how he's taught to do this, to do it, So, but after that, my teachers are teaching him virtually. Literally, I'm cooking, I'm downstairs, I'm outside. I'm not doing anything. They're actually doing all the work. The only thing I do is set up the Zoom and turn it off. They're doing everything else. But I know that a lot of people locally are saying, in different cities, near me, are saying, no, they're not doing that. Their teachers are emailing them and saying, hey, this is what you need to do. The stuff is due on Friday, and they don't know how to teach their child, whether the child has special needs or not. This is just in general.
Right.
So, and then the services as well.
So that everybody knows, where are you located?
I'm located in Virginia. I live in Virginia Beach. So I live in the state of Virginia, and as far as like special speech and occupational therapy and stuff like that, of course, I'm not getting occupational therapy, but, over the Zoom, I'm not getting it. But they're sending me emails saying, hey, you might want to do this, like a PDF. Like, this is some stuff that you could do while you're home. That's perfectly fine with me for my child. But for someone else's child that may be a little bit more severe, that might not work. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's not the worst thing. I'm working with it because really that's all we can do. I'm getting speech therapy over the telephone. I log in, she does her thing. And it's working because I know that they're limited. There's only so much you can do virtually, but a lot of people are not getting any services, any speech, any help with the teachers. They're not getting phone calls back. I mean, a lot of people are getting different things going on. So I'm just speaking from my perspective, but looking at other people's situations and other moms who are, reaching out to me, they're not getting services at all. They're not getting any help. They don't know how to teach their children, their special needs children. And however, they may have 4 or 5 other kids in the house that are not special needs. So they're overwhelmed. So from what I'm getting in my area, it's anxiety. People have a lot of anxiety. You already have to worry about toilet tissue and mask and all that crazy stuff. And if you're going to, catch it, somebody's sick or somebody getting ill, your parents, your loved ones, and then you got to tune in. Okay, now I got to teach this special needs child. I don't have all the tools. They don't have the internet. They may not have a laptop. They didn't get one sent home. Everybody in every situation is different. So it's a lot going on in different households. This varies.
Right. And Jeniece, I know that you have your son that has different abilities, but then you have multiple other children. So I'm sure facets of all different things.
Yeah, which Sabrina,
how is that going, girl?
It is going. Today's the last day. So I'm thankful today's the last day. It has been, the first 2 weeks were probably the hardest for us because there was no routine. And I was like, the first week that we were out, or that Georgia shut down, it was right before their spring break. So we're like, okay, we'll just take a break here. We'll take another break. Then you're not going back, period. So we're all readjusting to this whole life and trying to figure out what's our new normal. And for the first couple of weeks, my children didn't have extra laptops. So everybody was using the same exact thing until I reached out to the schools and realized, they're offering a laptop if you come and get it and you let them know that you're in need. They didn't tell us that beforehand. So I learned from other parents in our area that was something that was offered to some of the kids. Now, that being said, Christian, for 2 weeks, he didn't sign in because I didn't even know he had a login to sign in. They hadn't even emailed me. They didn't let me know. So I was sending out an email or I was asking, but he didn't have the resources. So I didn't know what I was doing in order to help him with the things that were going on in his world. So that's been a big issue in our area. I'm in Georgia, and that's like the Gwinnett County area of Georgia. And we're kind of we're considered to be a really good special needs, accessibility wise. Yeah, they're pretty strong. This has just kind of thrown everybody for a loop. That's for sure. So it's been a lot of readjusting. And right now, the kids, they all finished their work. Christian didn't do as much as he probably would have been doing at school because, like how you said, your teacher sat in with your son. The teachers didn't sit in with our kids. They were on every morning at 10 o'clock for maybe 15, 20 minutes. If you had any questions, they were able to answer any questions.
Oh, wow.
But
they didn't stay on and do the work.
No, they didn't stay on to do work. So we're doing, I'm trying to figure out what it is that they're doing. And then we even had an IEP over he had an IEP, and that happened like a week ago. Come to find out that his speech therapist didn't feel like she was, none of the goals that were in place, she felt like she had any support for his goals. So then that went all the way back to, so what is in the IEP for you to be able to do? And we're all doing this on a Zoom, but we've had conversations in person, and it just seems like a lot of miscommunication that's been going on. But in our area, I know that it's been really difficult for the kids. They miss their friends, and that's pretty rough. Being here with Christian, some days are really good with him. Some days are not so good. They're always here. We're always together. So if he has a meltdown, we're all kind of trying to cater and walk around that. And I think that that's probably been that's probably been the toughest part for them. They don't get an outlet. There's nowhere for them to go at home. Usually they could go to school, they see their friends that come back. Now we're all learning to readjust with ourselves and being present with each other. So I think that's been a big adjustment for everybody.
Let me ask you a question. Are your teachers doing like the meetup Zoom for the students, like twice a week? My the teacher, like I think it's a gym teacher who's organizing this. All the kids, well, the classes are smaller because they're special education, but all the kids get together, and then they get on a Zoom and they just chit chat. She sets it up with the link and she walks away, and they're on the call for like 20 minutes, but they get to talk to each other and like, hey, what are you doing? How's it going? That kind of thing. Are you guys, Tammy? Well, Tammy, you're out of school, but you know,
my oldest kids, their teachers set up something like on a Friday. They would all get on, all their classmates. Christian, no, he hasn't seen any of his classmates since the end of school. So we haven't, So no, that's been something that's
with Christian. Does he get outside of school or in school? Does he get outside of school, PT, OT, speech, any of that stuff? And what
they've been trying to make it into a virtual. And so where I would help out with him. OT, not so much right now. He's had a lot of things that have been canceled or postponed until after we're reopening Georgia. I don't know if some people know that we're reopening Georgia. So some facilities over the last week or so are kind of integrating the kids to come back.
School?
No, not the school. No, I'm talking about like his doctor's offices that have like therapists. They're no longer in the actual office. So we're trying to learn how to do some therapies via Zoom, or I think it's like a telemed type thing.
Telehealth or something.
Yeah, something like that. So they have been working on trying to getting him, but that's another thing. He has this alone time with them. And if we have like one computer, and Raymond also receives speech therapy now. So everybody's trying to have this isolated time and respecting each other's space. So it's kind of been difficult to manage some of that stuff with him and with everybody else here in the house. And so yeah, that's pretty much how it's going.
Well, and I know that globally, I mean, so much of the actual services. So when we talk about that outside PT and the outside OT and speech, and for coming into the home, like people who come to the home to do therapy and even just like your daily living stuff. There has been so much disruption in that. And so anybody who catches us back on the replay or maybe hops on, love to hear your experiences from that, if you've been missing some of your nursing care at home, that thing. So we had between March and now, probably, I think we're at like 25, 27 appointments canceled. So, Marcus is in, pretty much fatigue, like his muscles and pain from all of his outside therapeutic services. Some of those are supposed to start opening like the middle of June, but then, obviously as a parent, you have to think to yourself, is it the time?
Right.
Is it time to step out yet? But yet you're not getting, the therapy in the house. And then if you do let a therapist in the house, is that safe too? Where have they been? How many houses have they been in? What, sanitation things are they practicing? And so, but I just know that there's a huge deficit in that, and it's being overlooked because, when we hear all this stuff on the media, I mean, really, the different abilities community isn't really being addressed.
No.
So even when it comes to masks, I think masks are a positive thing for everyone, but we have to look at if you have tactile issues, sensitivities to things, if you, read lips, if you are, hearing impaired, making sure that we have adaptable tools and masks and stuff. And so I think that's where a lot of frustration, is coming in for many. I don't know if you guys have heard from outside people, outside of more of the school things, but more of those medical end of things too, and cares in the home.
Yeah, I know that that's been something in our area, like people coming into the home. People are not very comfortable. It just doesn't feel safe. And I want him to have these extra services, but it's at risk to bring something else that may even worse. I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm trying to avoid that if possible. So other people here, I'm like, let me just see what I can figure out on my own. But I think that you're right, Tammy, that a lot of this, it's kind of weighing the options and weighing, is it worth the outcome? Like, is this speech time? Is this where I need to be focusing on that right now? Or should I just keep the house disinfected and work with him on my own some more and try and figure that out? And then even as the parents that have to go to work, if you have a job and things and there's childcare issues, I'm curious to know what's going on in people's houses and when it comes to that type of stuff, because this is not, even if I were to allow somebody else to come in, is everybody else at risk? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And I was talking about that yesterday on one of the interviews that I did. You know, if kids are going to be off, and obviously, like people are saying, like summer's canceled, right?
Right.
Closed, activities are closed, that sort of thing. What are the parents doing? So if you work outside the home, what are you doing? Like, where are your kids? You know, I mean, your kids don't have school to go to, or they can't go to their camp that they probably would have went.
The camp is closed, so I mean that's crazy.
Mandate that you be at work, or can you have to be searching for another job if you're getting unemployment?
Yeah, because everybody doesn't have a job that you can work from home.
No,
that's they don't have that luxury.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going. That's doing. So I mean, Sabrina, you're going to work from home now, or you're working from home. You're kind of building your business and doing your thing from the house.
Yeah, I mean, because it's my business. But I'm saying people who have a 9 to 5, that's a different issue.
Right.
Right.
And I do have a part-time job that I'm furloughed now. I told you ladies I was furloughed since March, but I mean, there are times that I can work from home, but I can't. I work at a hotel. Yeah. I work for Marriott, so I got to be in the building. At some point, I would have to go in. I mean, I could do it for a little bit. I would have to when that time comes, because what am I doing with Omar? Omar goes to school all day. And then in the summertime, he goes to a camp. That's why I work part-time. Summertime, he goes to a camp. I work around the camp hours. Well, there is no camp this year.
Right.
No. Well, then the strangest thing that 2 days ago, his teacher called me and said, "Miss Thomas, would you be open to going for Omar to have ESY? They're thinking about opening up the school." I said, "Not." I said, "He's not going to that school." So they're taking a poll. They're saying like, okay, so they want to know who's flexible to come in and who who want to do virtual. Well, I said I wouldn't mind Omar catching up, because he's obviously in an hour or two, not in a two, it's like 45 minutes a day, 4 times a week he does the virtual teaching.
Right.
He's not getting everything he was getting in school, obviously. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing summer school virtually, but no, we're not going into the building. Yeah, we're just not doing that. Yeah.
And Jeniece, what are your summer options in Georgia? I mean, are they come out with any, or I thought Georgia was open. Am I wrong? And I know we're going to get to that.
Georgia's opened. People are very hesitant. Yeah, they're open. Like, what do you mean, the school? No, the school's not open. No.
Okay.
They opened hair salons, nail salons, some dining.
We're open.
Yeah, these are the type of things that they've opened as of right now. Still with restrictions.
Right?
Restaurants are open for in-dining services. There's a whole list of things that they have to do in order to be open. So they have a lot of criteria that they have. And so a lot of them are not opening because of that, but some of them are open. I haven't been to any restaurants, but I know.
I know in Virginia, the salons, barbershops, they're open. Mm-hmm. The mall is open, but there's no stores open. People can go in the mall, walk around for exercise. Okay. The restaurants weren't closed here. They were already open. You can do like takeout and, whatever, order up or Grubhub or whatever. But I think they're able to open as of Friday, but they're not open. They're not, like, you still can't go in a restaurant. But I did around the corner from my house, this Mexican restaurant took the furniture in the restaurant, because I've been there before, and put it in the parking lot. And people were eating their nachos Cinco de Mayo Day outside.
Hey, what works?
They had like 9 tables, and they had them all, the little umbrella canopy. They had it outside, and people was eating their food outside in the parking lot.
Oh my goodness.
They did a survey, like breaking down the safest places to go and how to do it the safest. And they were saying if everybody could make their businesses adaptable, like if hair salons could go outside and put tents up, if you get your feet done outside, like just the fact that you're in the open air, I'm saying, you're not in a dense, condensed place or area, that's the safest. Could you imagine that? It would be good to just take all of the things we do
and just go outside.
Outside. I don't want to be outside getting my hair done, because I do not want my curls to be falling, girl. I can't. My hair can't do the humidity.
Humidity.
the humidity. So we're not doing that.
I know our friend Dawn, she wasn't able to jump on today, but she put in here kind of where things began for them, that they really began fully opening May 1st. So they've been open for about 20.
Where's she at?
Okay.
She's in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't seen any significant drops in cases. Cases are still steadily, at a steady rate inclining. Testing has increased, which is good, and approximately 10% of those tested are positive. So that's, I don't know if that 10% is average or they look to have it more like at 4% or whatever, but it's not like anything's declining. And, that's my only fear with this as things open. For some reason, when people say you're open, it suggests like there's nothing wrong anymore.
You're safe.
No!
Safe.
No, that's a lie.
You're open doesn't mean you're safe.
No, it doesn't. And Corona is still in them streets.
Right. Well, if you're viewing today, please drop what state you're from and what's going on in there. Or if you're viewing this on the replay, please do the same. Here in Wisconsin, you guys may have seen, I know I did an interview last week and the woman's like, I just saw your state on CNN. I'm like, well, we're always in the news for something, aren't we? Here in Wisconsin.
What was going on then? You saw that?
Jeniece, did you see what happened?
What happened?
Last week, our Supreme Court, so our Republican Party had taken our governor to court and whatnot. So basically fighting over the stay-at-home order that he had ruled. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor of everything basically dropping, and that it broke, different laws and regulations that he couldn't put on people to stay at home. So in literally 5 hours, it broke at 5 p.m. at night. I think it was last Wednesday, 1 week ago, all orders were gone. There was no order, and there was no order in place. Meaning that at that moment, if you were a restaurant, you could open, no contingencies, a salon and spa, nothing. So obviously some people took it to the extreme and were partying at bars and whatnot and congregating together within an hour after the ruling.
With no mask and no social distancing.
Yeah. No, everybody. And so the only county, so Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee, which is our largest city, has a super high population that contracted COVID. So the mayor of Milwaukee put down their own order, which superseded the Supreme Court, to say that we need to phase this. And so all the other counties, it's kind of up to the business owner. If you want to be open, you be open. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you want to do this, do this. And that's great in theory to think that everybody in the world is responsible, right? I feel like it's great. I mean, that would be a perfect world if we thought that everybody was going to make the responsible choice. But we know that when you say there's no rules, it's kind of like a seatbelt, right? Yeah. Seatbelt. And even though we know we can get a ticket if we don't wear it, people still don't do it, right? But we know that in turn, it's good for us, right? I mean, if we get hit by a car, it's proven that it's going to help you. But, it takes away your rights. Say, I don't want to wear it. Then they make it a law. Then people still don't. So I don't know. It's a little bit free birding it here in the state of Wisconsin. Everyone's just doing it. I don't know. One down the street, they're not doing it. Up the street, they're not doing it. In the middle, somebody's doing it. So it's a hard place, I think, to sit for business owners because you have to look at who's your demographic that comes into your business. How do you keep them safe? How do you keep your employees safe? What does that, look like? If you do decide to go on the side of not being cautious, what if people get sick? So, I mean, I think it's a lot of decisions, to be made, especially if you're taking it seriously and you take the lives of others, their families and stuff seriously. So I don't know, but I would love to hear what's going on in other places. I thought something I heard this morning, some rumblings about California getting free. Getting like they're
I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I did see something on CNN
like that people are backlashing, that. I think that if people knew the protocols and things to follow, and people actually were going to follow them, and all going to be safe. And I think about this in in Japan. You know how everybody wears masks, right? I mean, because of pollution. It's not like anybody's being scorn, it's not like they're yelling at anybody. It's just what the population does because of the air quality.
Right.
It's not like they're punishing them to wear masks, and so I think I don't understand why we look at it here like we're being punished. You know what I'm saying? Like we're being yelled at.
We feel so entitled because we have our rights and we are right, and this is what we owe this to ourselves, and you can't tell us what to do. And type of like just this mentality, but in reality, we're the whole our whole community, accessibility and stuff. Now we're all acceptable. This is something that most people in the disabled community have been fighting for years, to have these freedoms to be able to just do things online and virtually. And now all of a sudden, within 2 months, everyone's able to do it. And it's like, oh, it can happen, and we can work from home, and we can do all these things, and we can respect each other's differences. But knowing that what we're doing is not united, like we're the United States and we're so disconnected right now, it just baffles me. It's just interesting to watch and not taking it. I think people just don't understand. And without knowledge, people are going to flail and try and figure it out. And everyone's saying something different. So it's, who do you really believe? CNN saying one thing, Fox is saying that one thing. You have the Surgeon General over here. You have everybody telling you something, but then I know somebody that's been affected, and then it's like, oh wow,
yeah, it's different. It hits home.
Somebody that you know, and it's like, oh, it's just one of those Ebola things. It's just something that's like not that important, but it is, and it's not getting any better. And with our actions, they're not helping it to get better. Like we can't even sit still. The entire country can't sit still, so these things can settle. So I don't know. I'm just
I looked up the numbers this morning. I think it was 91,000 and something deaths in the United States, and it's last week it was 80. So it's like 10,000. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. And I think like you're so right. Why can't we unite on things? You know what I'm saying? It has to be everything has to be a fight. And, when we talk about our different abilities community, and, my son who's in the workspace, that's a whole other segment. That's a whole hour in itself for me to get all worked up about this. That our community, there are so many young adults that have their education, that have master's degrees, just have mobility issues. Right. And couldn't get a job to save their life. I mean, that one girl I interviewed, 230 interviews. She has her master's degree that she went on, but because of her mobility issues and her needs at work, could not find something, and automatically it was like the light switch went on, and like everybody can work from home. We can make it adaptable. We can make it work. We can work off site.
Yeah, they make it work. They make it work.
Yeah, because it affects them now. So it's like
their pockets. Their pockets.
You can feel it.
We got a computer. Okay, okay.
We'll get you a computer. We'll get you a desk. We'll get you an
laptop. It'll come to your house. We're getting your right. All of a sudden.
And I can't even imagine for those out there, because I am not, though I have a son with different abilities, I cannot. I mean, I imagine for him, but when I think of this, the scope of all these young adults that I've interviewed over time that have gone for their college educations, that are suited for so many positions, that are watching America all work from home and do what they have thrived and wanted to do for years, but everyone says no. I mean, that must be heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For them, each day to watch this, that it's okay for somebody this to happen and for companies to flip the switch, it's disheartening, very disheartening. But that's a whole nother episode.
That would be an episode by itself. And I would love to talk to people who experiences like the people you had. I would love if you visited them and asked them. I would love to hear from people, because this is stuff that it needs to be talked about and it needs to be discussed. So I'm glad that we got us all on here talking this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. The other thing is, I want to say, so we see in order. What do we got left? We got 31 minutes left, ladies.
All right.
Time ourselves, because when we get together, sometimes we go over our
hour, maybe.
If you're just tuning in, we want to know that if you have any loved ones yourself that receive any type of services for your different abilities, your loved ones through the COVID crisis, have you been affected by any of those things? Have you lost any services? We want to know from your state. If you live in a different state, we're representing Virginia, Georgia, Wisconsin. We got Dawn from Florida who popped on and commented for us, but other states, what are other states doing? So our next spot was going to be summer resources. What are you guys planning for summer? And what about this Memorial Day weekend? What's that going to look like for everybody?
Well, for me, for the summer, I'm gonna hit the summer thing first. Like I just said earlier, his teacher already called me and asked me, what would you like to do? And of course I said virtual. So if that's available, which I'm thinking it probably will be, we're gonna do that. However that's gonna look, I'm not really sure, because normally in the summertime it's only 8 to 12. Okay. So I'm thinking 3-4 days a week. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna be the same thing he's doing now, 3 to 4 days a week in an hour. Because when she does the virtual teaching, she's only doing an hour.
Okay.
She does an hour and everything. And it'll probably look like that. And that's all he's doing. He normally goes to a camp. And I think the camp emailed me and said they're going to be closed. But then they said they may open, and instead of taking, let's say 10 or 12, maybe 4 or 5, Omar would not be one of 4 or 5. So we're doing that.
Hard. We're going to be filming you. Get activities in your backyard. You could be vlogging.
Yeah. But as far as Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to get my my shrimp on and the stick outside on my patio of my house. Of my house. Where nobody's coming to visit. For mama, my house.
I know over here we are still figuring out summer plans. I think it just really hit me like this is the last day of school. They came in like 3 times. They're having a graduation parade tonight, so we're gonna get in the car and like drive.
School is today. This is the last day.
Yeah, today's
June 12th. Okay.
So summer starts tomorrow. And what plans do I have? None. Not right now.
Look.
I've gotten a couple emails saying that some of those camps Christian has attended in the past have closed for the summer, so that's not an option. The kids have been to like their summer camp at the daycare before. The daycare is reopening. I'm still not comfortable sending them there, so I think, like maybe 30 students or so right now, and I'm still not comfortable with that. So we've been just doing new things. We try a new park every day. We try and get up in the morning, go to the park. Gwinnett County is where we're at, and they have a lot of community parks. So we'll go and we'll stay away from people and just walk the park. Going out,
great.
Camping. That is something that we're going to try and do with the kids. Go take them camping. Let's just get outside. Because I think just everybody being inside all the time is also, it's a lot. It's a lot for all of us. And so we're just trying to find areas where we can go, but also be away from other people. And camping seems like one of those options that works for us.
A lot of people plan on doing camping, so I hope.
And I thought that they were closed, and they actually are not. So even like camps, we'll just go and set up a tent and be away from people and be outside. And
now, when you camp, do you camp during the day or do you actually spend the night?
Spend the night.
Oh, I don't do that.
You do day camping.
Listen, no, let me tell you something. I camp at the hotel, at the Marriott, and put it in the living room. And then no.
And I was thinking hotels was like, are they opening? But I don't even think they're open.
No, mine's not open. But I'm just saying, when I have set up a camp one time in the living room in the hotel. That's what I did. You
need your amenities. You need that good stuff. I 48 hours without a shower, and I'm like not even touching their bathrooms like that. But we're outside, we're having fun, and it's good. And you come home.
Yeah, the kids, kids
like it. They like to get out. They have a dog now, so that's been an adjustment.
I see your kids running around. They're the cutest.
We got Ziggy in the house, so that keeps them a little occupied. But
what are you doing with that garden? I saw you're doing. Are you guys doing like a gardening?
We're trying to work on a community garden. My husband has they have a property in Atlanta, and at first it was just nothing but vines and brush. So we're like, why don't we create a garden in this time? Like we don't have anything else. What are we doing right now? And so we got it, and it's leveled as of yesterday. So we're really excited. To pick out a vegetable or a plant or anything and kind of get their hands dirty. Christian really enjoys being outside, and he opens very easily, but thankfully it hasn't been that hot out here lately. So it's kind of just been this off and on rain,
weather, yeah,
great and stuff. But he doesn't sweat because of some of his medications that he's on and he's been on for years. But he actually enjoys being outside.
That's good. That's really good.
Just play with them and throw them and just sit with everybody and then come back, and he's talking to us a little bit more. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do a lot more things outside, and so definitely
we need to drop these ideas. So camping inside of a hotel. So maybe if you're not going to go to a hotel, Sabrina's going to camp in her bedroom.
No, I'm gonna do it in the living room. You know,
camp
in the living room.
Yeah, in the comments. But if you can't
living room, will force you.
Omar can't go outside right now with this pollen, because this pollen could take his life right now. This thing is sick.
It is terrible.
He has too many respiratory issues to be outside. You know,
so camping in the inside, gardening though, I think that's a great project with you to put together a garden.
Yeah.
You know, like all the different parts of it that you could do, and teaching it would be like going to school, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's teaching them science. Girl, you're a science teacher. Girl.
Another label. Let me get a
girl. A science teacher, girl.
We are learning as we're going. The kids ask me, have you ever built a garden? I'm like, nope, but we're gonna learn. We're gonna figure it out. So
if you're following Jeniece, you'll have to drop below like your link to follow the garden. I was like, last night when I saw that, I'm like, that's a big garden that's gonna be for somebody who ever planted a garden. You're going big.
That sounds like a podcast.
I'll work on that. That's what I'm talking about. What y'all doing over there, Tammy?
What's going on, Tammy?
Well, it's been raining. It just keeps raining. I asked our weatherman. Okay, so first it snowed. I think right last week when we were
you told me.
Snowing. It was snowing in May, like twice. And now it just keeps raining. Today it's sunny, but the high is only supposed to be 66. And next week, all week it's supposed to rain. Every day.
Wow. On Memorial Day too?
Memorial Day is supposed to be a little nicer, but still cooler. It's not like we're getting up into the, high 70s or anything. Right. So maybe 69, 70, it's really bad. Our weatherman, he posted yesterday, how's the weather been? He said, trash.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, that has made it so much harder. So I envy people in other states that have had any kind of decent weather, because this is a great time to bike ride and camp and picnic and do all those things with your family, or if you're living with, a parent, a relative, whoever, to be able to just get out and for mental health, to be able to be outside. And here, I don't know, maybe that's why things are a little stirry here in Wisconsin, because everybody's inside.
What do y'all do to keep your mind settled and right? Because I feel like I have been on this roller coaster. Like some days are okay, I'm getting kind of accustomed. All right, we got to stay inside, and then it's like, oh my gosh, we're inside. Why are we still inside? Like, I don't want to be in here, guys. We all just need to go somewhere. So I think being like the mother and the family and like keeping that energy, because the kids feed off of you. Like your whole family feeds off of your energy, and mom is gonna be okay. And how do you answer that when you're really not really sure? Like, we're going to make it okay, but I don't know what we're doing. I have no idea. Your teachers don't know what they're doing with this right now.
Yeah.
You give people so much grace. And I think that even just saying, like, how do y'all deal with the down times? Like, what do you do to keep going and stay positive? I don't know. I would love to hear from other people and figure out what are y'all doing in your house, and have you noticed things with your kids, with your family members? Are you getting closer, or is it more like, all right, it's been 6 weeks, so now I'm at the blow up mode or something? So
yeah.
I know for me, I only have one, son, and I know it's different when you have one and then you have three. It's different because there's a lot of people in the house, and if you have a husband and whatever, your mom, your parents, or whatever, so it's just three of us in the house. And I know for me, even though, like I said, the first 2 weeks it was kind of crazy, I just try to keep it. For Omar, he needs a routine.
Okay.
You know, and I'm very organized. So I try to keep a routine. So we have a routine. I get up in the morning, even if I'm in my pajamas, because I got my PJs on underneath this shirt right here at the waist. I got my pajamas on. Y'all can't see the pajamas. Tammy saw them, but you can't see them. So, you know, I try to keep a routine. I'm still getting up every morning. Even the Monday, he doesn't have virtual teaching, but I still get up in the morning. And even though he doesn't have virtual teaching, he's going to get up, eat his breakfast around the same time, and then I'm still going to log him in to do something. So every day now, the new normal is get up, we're going to eat, I'm going to go to the laptop, and by 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we're done, or 10:30, we're done, and then we're moving on to the next phase. And then I try to go back after lunch, and we try to get back on the laptop, and I show him a video or whatever, something that the teacher did 2 weeks ago, pop a video on, because they send a lot of videos still to do homework, like an activity, and he does that, and then I try to keep a routine, so it's not as bad. But for me, being in the house, I told Tammy this before, I'm living my best life in this house. I can stay here all the rest of the year. I'm good. But for some people, they're like, ugh, they need to get outside. But I do take Omar out sometimes and get in the car, just for a ride and ride around for like 45 minutes all over the place so he can see the trees and the grass and all this stuff. So he can just see stuff, like go through the drive-through or whatever I'm doing. So he's not just in the house, because he looks out the window all day, every day. He's looking out the window, kids are going past. So I try to do that so he can at least get out. And we did go to my mom's house one day, but just to my mom's house, when we sat, she made us sit in the living room while she was in the kitchen. And we had to keep our masks on while we were in the house. So like, not take it off in the house with the mask, like don't take it off. So I try to do that. But for me, I told Tammy this is I can stay here in this house all year. I mean, I really could. I can work, do my business. As far as my business, I'm just doing so much. My business is growing. My personal business is growing so much, in the house, because I have time to jump on the computer, be creative, all that stuff. But when you have more than one child and different family members in the house, it's different.
Yeah.
It's more anxiety. It's more like I'm going to choke somebody. Like it's too much. If the house is not big enough, everybody's in a room together. It's just a lot. Two women in the kitchen, that might not work.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a lot of, everybody's home situation is totally different.
That's right. That's very true.
Stress levels are different as well.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And I think, like, for myself, I thrive off of being planning, preparing, being organized, and in such disarray, because really our only time apart, all the things that my son does are different therapies.
Mm-hmm.
And, going to the doctor, and we spend a lot of time at the hospital, we spend a lot of time at the other doctors, and losing all of those and then trying to figure out how we were going to do something to give some structure. Yeah. When none of them were available, was very hard. And so it's been about we're on week 3, I think, that we finally, or maybe we're on week 4, maybe week 3, that we got telehealth. So he does that once a week. Have the big Apple computer, so it's great. So he sits in a private room and he does telehealth with one of his doctors. He now has his personal trainer. We've now got that set up where we do fitness training 4 days a week.
Okay.
So I bring that into the living room. I have like a boxing bag, a treadmill, free weights, bands set up. He just does it up, and he does it along with her. He has a group from one of our organizations is trying to put all their youth council. They're agency for those with different abilities, but they put like a youth council together. They're trying to move all their summer activities online. So it's a process. So like we'll meet today with them for 45 minutes and Mark will give us input as they're developing it, but it's not developed yet.
Right.
So, now that we have some things plugged in the calendar, life has gotten a little bit easier because you have that little bit of structure. Like he's getting to connect with people that he sees, which makes him calmer and him feel like, he's getting that reconnection and the therapy, that he needs for that. For me, being a business owner outside of the on-air advocate and having employees and whatnot, though it was very hard, Wisconsin all of a sudden saying everything can open, it gave me the time to say, okay, well, now it's my decision, and it's my decision how we're going to open and how we're going to open safely. and if we're going to do that and how we're going to do it. And so that's what I've been working on for about the last week and a half, is to reopen my business safely for the community, the people who are our customers, as well as our employees. So that's still in process, but that's giving me a little bit of calming, in the sense, not like it's not a lot of work, but at least knowing what's a little bit over the hill, right?
Right.
Because this is the next step. And so for people who are planners, that's so important, is that we like to be prepared, and we at least like to be able to kind of see what's that next thing.
Yeah.
It's all great. So that has been helpful, but making sure to connect. I've probably reached out to more people than I ever have, business friends, female, just friends, and been like, hey, can we talk? Can we talk for 5 minutes? You know, just to be able to have that interaction and connection. So I would definitely highly recommend that to people. Don't hold it all inside. Tell people, I need to talk.
Yeah.
You know, be able to share with others, other moms, other, other parents, get ideas, all that kind of stuff. So.
And then you have and do virtual, just like we're doing Zoom now, and people do Zoom and Facebook meet up with your girlfriends and stuff. You can't, do a wine and dine or a water and dine, whatever you do if you don't drink or whatever. I mean, me and my girlfriends, we stay connected. We get on, we Skype each other or get on a Facebook, and we all just talking and together, and that way when we can't, see each other, one-on-one, we used to take turns going to each other's houses, but we're still communicating, and we're all sitting, even if we're just in our pajamas, we don't care. No, it's not being taped. This is us.
Right.
So that I need that time too with my girlfriends to make sure that we're still connected and reaching out to people more. I think I reached out to people more than that I probably did all year.
Right.
Because, just I haven't talked to one of my aunts. I had a conversation with her for an hour and a half the other day. It's wow, we got so much time, I'm trying to get my priorities straight, here, what I'm doing. Okay, I haven't been reaching out, she's older. Maybe I need to do that a little bit more. Yeah. So it comes up again because, they're predicting that the wintertime is going to be bad. We might be doing this again. So I want to stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Right.
The next time. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
You need to drop that below, Sabrina.
That's right. Stay ready.
That definitely needs to be there. Now, have you guys transitioned? I know that, Jeniece, you're working on a lot of stuff like working from home, online businesses. I wonder if many of the, folks that listen to any of our platforms, if they have either started working from home permanently or have transitioned into maybe launching a business or working on their business, from home that way. What have you been doing growth wise, for business and that sort of thing? Have you been kind of adding on more things to it to make it more accommodating at home?
I think for me personally, I have kind of taken a step back to refocus our priorities, even in the business, even in family, even in just personal. It's refocusing, and how can we be more purposeful with what we have? So Special Needs Siblings, we started Sibling Speaks Live. This is something that I've tried to do, and stuff just kept happening. And now it's okay, let's do it. And we're supposed to be this panel, and we're supposed to have all these siblings on at one time. And it's just so hard to put everybody together with their time zones, because people are all over the world. Right now they're sleeping and I'm awake, and it's how do we do this and get everybody connected? So then we kind of transition. Why don't we just do one-to-one interviews, and then we'll make a group chat. So the siblings that are going to be joining us, they're going to be on their WhatsApp, and they can talk to each other. And as soon as they get a date that works for them, I'll bring them all on, and we can do a panel and we can share. But I think that it's important to listen to what everybody else is doing and what they're saying. And I think that that's where I've kind of taken a step back and just started asking more questions how are you? No, how are you really? How can I help you? Even with the kids, I asked them, do you miss your friends? And I think that how Sabrina you were just sharing about, just talking to your girlfriends and getting on Zoom. I'm maybe I should be setting this up so they can be on a Zoom call with their friends. What we can be able to share and connect, because they're living vicariously through PS4 and TikTok videos and all these other things, but you kind of miss that personal connection and really just being real. I'm a lot more deliberate. So that Sibling Speaks Live, I included the kids in the interview, and they really enjoyed meeting another sibling and being able to share how they're feeling and realizing like this is just something different that we're doing. On the flip side, my marketing business has been kind of going well because people are trying to get online, and there's a lot of businesses that still don't have online presence. And so it's like connecting them and letting them know like this is possible, this is where it's at right now, and it's not too late to start. So, don't feel like this is the worst time ever. I think this is a time with a lot of potential and possibilities. And because everyone is in the unknown, this is where creativity is spurred and like what's going to work and how can we try something? If it doesn't work, can we figure something else out? So I think this time has really been testing us to see people are going to either be shaken or they're going to be broken. And are you going to be able to pivot and change with all this stuff that's going on? So that's kind of where we're at right now.
I love that.
What about you, Tammy? I mean, I know because you got 25 businesses. So like, how's that?
Telling you, I'm just trying to pull it all together. I think that, like I said, the phasing and the fact of my brick and mortar business now being in the effect that it can open, and myself deciding and saying, what are the principles that I live by is value. I'm saying I value our community. I value human life so much. I value my employees and their health, their well-being, what they're taking home to their kids. And just knowing that now I have the opportunity to set that up however I want. Now, granted, does it bring in the masses of money? Could last week I have opened and said, hey, everybody, come on in. We're open, because everybody was looking for a source in the beauty industry to go to. I could have, but that's not what this is about, That's not what this is about at all. This is about us all coming together, all uniting, staying safe for each other, knowing that we're all in this together. So working on getting the brick and mortar going in a safe manner, and then kind of circling it back to my online new virtual businesses that are all in the works. So I have a conference call on that today, growing. Obviously, there's the Honor Advocate, but there's 2 more platforms that are in different are going to join that. So I'm excited about it. But slow and steady wins the race. So, anybody watching today, remember, within all of this, as long as we're moving forward, we're making a positive progress. It doesn't matter if it's baby steps. You will, eventually get there. So, for many of us, a lot of the things we're going to go through now are going to be mountains, to go up. It's going to take a little bit of time, but just getting up each morning and keeping moving and having caffeine. Oh, I am excited about it. I just ordered some new nutrition stuff that's supposed to give you a morning caffeine in it. I don't know how it goes. You see me online, and I'm like, woo!
What is it? Is it coffee?
Right. That stuff. I did that with the owners. I did that presentation for IBS. That segment from that NeoPro.
Okay.
I can't see it. See, this is another thing. Learn how to show products. So they make like a morning start with a morning shake that's supposed to give you energy. So we'll see. I'm always one that I try it, a whole box of it before I give my thoughts on it. So I'm excited. That's what I'm looking forward to this week.
Yes.
Energy and a healthy shake, because who has developed any of the COVID-19 around the refrigerator? Has anybody gone to the refrigerator? Is the refrigerator calling anybody? To say open the refrigerator.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, I'll be honest. The first couple of weeks was all jacked up. And, I have a day or two where I'm just like, girl, bye. Let me go in there and get this stuff, whatever. But I've been exercising, for the most part every day. I do my, squats in the morning. I do planks in the afternoon. But sometimes I do those squats and planks between my strombolis and my chicken wings. I'm just being honest, but some days I do it between my vegetables and my salmon. But I'm trying to do more salmon and vegetable, because I don't eat beef and pork more than the strombolis, because I was convincing myself that, okay, it's not that bad. It's vegetables in the stromboli. It's vegetables. Because I have vegetables in it, not discounting the bread and all the cheese and the ricotta and the mozzarella, all that stuff.
Now you got me wanting to go. figure out. Like, I need to figure
That's
out.
my Tuesday. But I'm doing really well. I'm doing the exercises, and I'm proud of myself because I'm consistent with my exercises every day. I might miss a day, but then I go back. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't do it. And sometimes I'll get up in the middle of the night. Like if I get up and like, okay, let me do my squats. Because I'm just trying to not look like Resfusia when this is all over. I'm just saying. Y'all know who Resfusia is off of Norbit. I'm not trying to look like that.
Sabrina, we need to make Jeniece come in the group. So that is an offshoot of this. So there was another online platform that I was going to launch this year, but because of COVID, probably won't happen until 2021. So I have a mini version of it, and we're just doing a challenge. So it's my Tough Cookie Club, except it's the Tough Cookie Challenge. So Sabrina's part of that. And
you're a tough cookie.
I want to be a part of the challenge.
Yeah, you gotta do squats. And you can plan for how long, but we did show modified planks.
Okay.
So you can't go on the ground, you can go on the wall, whatnot. But every month we pick a new challenge, and then you can stack those challenges. So it's a private group. I'm gonna add you, girl. If anybody's listening, they want to be added.
Y'all join the Tough Cookie Challenge. Yes. Everybody.
I do 30 to 40 squats in the morning, and I do my plank at night. And I'm proud of myself because I was like looking on the thing. I was like, everybody's doing planks for a long period of time. Girl, I was happy I did 10 seconds. So I'm growing. I started off with my 10 seconds, girl. I'm not at a minute yet, but I'm very close. So I'm growing because every day I get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm good.
I love that. And I love that you have a group for that, Tammy. Accountability. Where it's at.
Jump on there. I've been at the salon trying to get that ready. I have been a little lax where I haven't been on everybody.
Yeah.
But the girls that are on there that haven't been showing up, Sabrina's been showing up. She ain't gonna get yelled at. It's about accountability.
Yeah, and then sometimes, like I said, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I didn't do it. And I'll get up. I'll be trying to post something at 12 o'clock at night. And he go, Tammy, 2 seconds later, liking it. I'm like, really, Tammy? You want to?
Follow through is everything. But what we were looking at is that, definitely it's attainable for anybody to do 10 squats at a time during the day. You could do 5 squats. You could do one push-up against the wall. You could do 5 of them every couple of minutes while you're doing work. I mean, the whole point for all of this, for our mental health, we really need to stay active. Like, we just have to make ourselves keep moving. Because not, we're only harming our well-being of our body. And who did you say you don't want to look like when this is over, Sabrina?
Resfusia.
I need you to drop Resfusia's photo down there. So
do you know who Resfusia is?
I don't.
You ever seen the movie Norbit?
I don't watch movies really either.
Oh, you don't watch TV, but I'm going to put the clip down. I'm going to put the clip down, and I'm going to tell you.
Okay, you put that down. All right. So then the last thing is that we want to celebrate all of you because you guys are all doing this. I mean, like, we should all that have stayed home, that we're masking, we're doing our thing. I mean, this is hard. This isn't easy. For those that have lost work, furloughed, businesses closed, all of that. I think everybody should, give themselves grace.
Yeah.
During this time for all that happened, and just celebrate that we, for those of us, that are blessed enough to still be here, and be that. I really feel like we need to celebrate ourselves. And then I'm like, all right, I need to have my 200th episode with my 200th. So this is my 200th episode right now. With the 200. I'll be on air advocate. So now I can go to 201. Now I'm complete. I can go to 201. So ladies, anything else? Change that. You know what? I think we went over. Did we go over an hour?
I think we're almost. We got less than 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh. So should we tune off? Should we go off? No, yes, no, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. With that, you guys drop your comments. Have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Bye.